enough, time is up for your lies and bluff. Kani zanu ndizopanda pindu, tikufuna chilengedwe cha tsopano. Osati mapocket anu opindika ndalama. Listen to the cries, they're louder than your lies. You can't silence the truth. It's time for the youth, time is up, time is up. When you're going is not enough, time is up for your lies and bluff. Time is up, time is up. When you're going is not enough, time is up for your lies and bluff. We rise, we stand, we fight together for the children, for a better forever. When you kuna tapano, we take the race. Tikonza jiko. Kwenyu ndemwe chabe, mabanja ona njala mkomo, ndalama zonse mutumbalano, masukwa kuchuluka pa mutupatu. Time is up, time is up. Kwenyu not enough, time is up for your lies and bluff. Time is up, time is up. Kwenyu not enough, time is up for your lies and bluff. Kani zanu ndizopanda pindu, anakulira miseu mwatu. Tikufuna chilengedwe cha tsopano. Osati mapocket anu opindika ndalama. Listen to the cries, they're louder than your lies. You can't silence the truth. It's time for the youth, time is up, time is up. When you're going is not enough, time is up for your lies and bluff. Time is up, time is up. When you're going is not enough, time is up for your lies and bluff. We rise, we stand, we fight together for the children, for a better forever. When you kuna tapano, we take the race. Tikonza jiko. Kwenyu ndemwe chabe, mabanja ona njala mkomo, ndalama zonse mutumbalano, masukwa kuchuluka pa mutupatu. Time is up, time is up. Kwenyu not enough, time is up for your lies and bluff. Time is up, time is up. Kwenyu not enough, time is up for your lies and bluff. Kani zanu ndizopanda pindu, anakulira miseu mwatu. Tikufuna chilengedwe cha tsopano. Osati mapocket anu opindika ndalama. Listen to the cries, they're louder than your lies. You can't silence the truth. It's time for the youth, time is up, time is up. When you're going is not enough, time is up fight together for the children, for a better forever. When you kunata pano, we take the rain. Tikonza jiko.
Lero bwacha bakamba mu kyalo kyesu kya Zambia ekyaweka Njoy. Abantu baafo bakamba kulya mu nfumbwe. More than 20 people balebe pati ni babiri. Bagamba. Fish to arufyanya. People have died. Mumino yabakapokola. The police killing people. Why? In the same government bagamba. Abductions have happened. Magamba, if you're not with them, it's either you're dead or you're in prison. This government, you're going to change big man. Fish to Arfianya Pakubika Moves. Fish to Arfianya. Why me? Missing. Achani Rubamwaicho and Dizona. Where is why me? HH, tell us with your government, where is why me? Give us why me. Justice for why me, big man. Wachila mo HH. Wala tukwisha bega kutukwisha bagamba. Tatwale kya kulanda big man. My youth. Maina watata. Zambia tuwasevana. Bagamba. Mweneza tuwakweni. Mujala jesu. It's ya Zambia. Twamona mwempwa. Twamona mwempwa. Nama abductions bagamba. Ubuteko twaleta. Watulete lama amazala mush. No you can take. Kola ipompa tudeka. No you can take. Apa nomba bane. Mufulo pa mufulo. Mufulo pa mufulo. Wakuvota bane. Mufulo pa mufulo. Mufulo pa mufulo. Makufuatika. Mufulo pa mufulo. Mufulo pa mufulo. Makufuatika fuatika. Mufulo pa mufulo. Mufulo pa mufulo. When you taya kwa fwe. Mufulo pa mufulo. Mufulo pa mufulo. Aikona man. Mufulo pa mufulo. Mufulo pa mufulo. Itaya kwa fwe. Mufulo pa mufulo. Mufulo pa mufulo. Yakuliati kwenyu. Mufulo pa mufulo. Mufulo pa mufulo. Mayona batata. Mayona batata. Bayuthi. Tentwisuli amenso. Batusendela nomba batwipaira na hope Yesu. Endika chagwa lungu watubela tinani mkwatila plan B. Nomba tuwadishiba plan B aba mmino ya kualesa. Bantu banga abalafu mucharo chesu cha Zambia. Nibanga abantu abala abducted mucharo chesu cha Zambia. Bambire kuli jeje banda. Nibanga abantu abala ba prison. Abena chitotela chilangwa. Wonze baba prison netunguru shina shimbi. Muri one government ya kwa HH. Abantu naba famweleza. Aikata nomba baikata na kuyetika chakwa lungu atukwatile plan B. Abakubo byabyo mufulo big man. Mufulo pa mufulo. Bilabine batsendela yetika chakwa. Apa nomba bane. Mufulo pa mufulo. Mufulo pa mufulo. Wakuvota bane. Mufulo pa mufulo. Mufulo pa mufulo. Makufuatika. Mufulo pa mufulo. Mufulo pa mufulo. Makufuatika fuatika. Mufulo pa mufulo. Mufulo pa mufulo. When you taya kwa fwe. Mufulo pa mufulo. Mufulo pa mufulo. Aikona man. Mufulo pa mufulo. Mufulo pa mufulo. Itaya kwa fwe. Mufulo pa mufulo. Mufulo pa mufulo. Yakuliati kwenyu. Mufulo pa mufulo. Mufulo pa mufulo. HH does not mean well for Mother Zambia. Zambia to Asebana, this is not the Mother Zambia that we were left with by our ancestors, our forefathers who fought so hard to liberate us. Dr. Kenneth Kaunda, Nalumino Mundia, Mama Julia Chikamoneka, Simon Mwansaka Pwepwe, They fought so hard to put this country on the map, to put this country where it is today. No man would destroy this country because we believe in unity. One Zambia, one nation, and we shout together we will change, and we are going to change this government. My name is Blaze Zambia.
Good day and welcome to today's broadcast. We are grateful that you are joining us on this auspicious day, 7th November, Friday, 7th November 2025. We know you are preparing for the weekend. We know that you're preparing, for relaxation. It's Friday, but we thought we could indulge in your time and space and come into your home and discuss issues that are affecting our country, that are affecting issues relating to our country. Our country is in dire strait. There are various developments. The Patriotic Front is holding its internal primary elections. On the election, they're supposed to have it in the next 30 days. So far, candidates that are expected, other than the ones that joined already and paid the 200,000 kwacha we saw in the week, Honorable Joseph William Dolo joined the race. Makebi Zulu has also just jetted in the country. He's been in South Africa since January, with the late president. He's come specifically to come and lodge in his application and probably speak to various stakeholders about his intentions. If he's filing in his nominations, I've put a notice to him that Honorable Makebi Zulu, after you file in your nominations, I want you on the Emmanuel Mwamba verified. There are a lot of issues that we need to discuss with him if he's running for, but his intention have been expressed, and to my knowledge, he has come to come and file in his nominations. If there'll be any other candidates, you have William Joseph Mdolo, you have Makebi Zulu, you have Grayford Monde, you have myself, you have Dr. Chimbaka Mbwili, who's recently returned from South Africa, where he was being treated after that stint in prison of about 5 months. You have the acting president, Given Lubinda. You have Mutotwe Kafwaya, Lunte MP. You have Brian Munduwile. Today, Brian Munduwile received endorsement of 29 MPs. That was a remarkable feat for him. Then we have Dr. Chilufya Chitalu, former Minister of Health, and Mansa MP. We have our dear brother Mal Sampa, and these will be the candidates. When the list of members of the Central Committee for the PF emerges as well, we are going to list you and show you. Today is not a show about the PF. It isn't. Today we have a governance expert, and I'm privileged to host. She lives in the diaspora, and we want to know who she is. She's very concerned about the affairs and welfare of our country. Who is she? Why is she worried about our country? She lives in a beautiful life in Europe. Let me welcome on the program Charlotte Salivage Ness. I don't know how to pronounce your Swedish or Nordic name, but you're going to help us. How are you?
I'm well. Good evening, Mr. Mwamba. Where are you at? Maybe it's morning. My name is Charlotte Salivage Ness.
I'm grateful to host you, and thank you for sparing time for us and for you to come on the program. Let's just delve into the program already. Who is Charlotte Salivage Ness?
Thank you very much. And indeed, thank you very much for hosting me, Mwamba. I appreciate that. Charlotte Salivage Ness is a mother of one. I have lived in Norway for 21 years. I'm a health economist, married, and a mindset change activist and governance activist. I am from the Eastern Province and I am from the Northwestern Province. That's a little bit about me.
Tell us about your early life.
Maybe I should also mention
and how you, tell us about your early life and how you ended up being in Norway. Just walk us through the journey. Where did you start school from? You are Zambian. You just walk us through that journey.
Thank you very much. So I was born in Kitwe, and I started school in Chingola and in Kasama as well. So I have lived in Kasama, I have lived in Mufulira, and moved when my stepdad moved. So we lived in Kasama, then moved to Lundazi, where my mother comes from. And that is where I did most of my primary school. So I did part of my primary school in Chingola, I did part of my primary school in Kasama, and part of it in Mufulira. And the rest of my primary school up to high school, I did it in both Lundazi and Chama. That is where I completed my grade 12. I was a classmate of the late Tutwa Ngulube, may his soul rest in peace. So I finished my grade 12 in 1996. I then moved to Lusaka. I did my college at Fairview. From there, I moved. I started working. I worked a little bit as a trainee at Fairview Hotel. Then I moved and worked at Mulungushi Village, until sometime in 2002, 2003, and then 2004, I left Zambia for Norway. I came to Norway because of love, and I have been in Norway since then. But whilst I've been in Norway, I worked before I could get into college. I did a lot of part-time jobs here and there because it wasn't easy or immediately when one relocated to be able to get a job, a dream job. Norway, we don't have English as our main official language, so one has to learn the Norwegian language. So the first years that I lived here, I needed to familiarize and learn the language. So I spent, I think, about 2 years for me just to learn the Norwegian and be able to function. So from there on, I decided to get back into school. So 2008, I started my undergrad in international development studies with majors in health and politics, political economy to be precise. And I graduated in 2011. And then from 2011, I started my master's in health economics. I did my master's in health economics and I graduated in 2013. From 2013, I continued my journey to wanting to do something in life. Then I became a mother in fast forward. I became a mother in 2015. In between 2013 and 2015, I started working. So I was working at a nursing home. Very tough to get a job. I hope we can dive into that. A job that one is trained for. It was very, very, very difficult. But I tried to multitask. So what I did normally was
What did you study? What have you been trained for?
So I have, like I mentioned, that I have an undergrad in development studies, and then I have majored in health economics. So it was not easy for me to get a job, and I started some business. I started a cleaning business. I worked at the nursing home. I continued business trading back home, and started some investments back and forth. Fast forward, I finally applied. So I had to register, by the way. I had to register at the labor office where just to get a job. Maybe they could help us get me a job. So until 2018, if I'm not mistaken, 2018, 2019, I was by then still cleaning. I was doing a cleaning job with my company. Then I remember whilst looking for the job, the labor office had sent me out. Normally, they will help you, they will assist you to get a job. So they sent me for a course in project management. And I remember one of the requirements that was given to us was that when you are looking for a job, when you are doing the course, you also needed to look for a job. So then I had to, we were online most of the times. And one time I remember working on the laptop, then I found this page where they were looking for cleaning jobs. And I was thinking, wow, I could find a cleaning house. And in Norway is a wealthy country, and most of the people who can afford cleaning help are those people with good jobs. So my instinct there was that if I was able to get a cleaning job, it would help me present my CV to one of the people that are needing someone to clean for their house. So I quickly got that page, and before you knew it, that was in 2018 November. By December, I had a lot of houses to clean. So I then called in and I got these jobs, but that didn't stop there. We were also requested that we needed to be calling in our possible employers. So whilst I was doing my master's, I had worked for the Norwegian Health Directorate as a trainee. And I had always mentioned that I would love to retire at the Norwegian Health Directorate because I felt it was a very lovely workplace. So when we were given that task at my course that we needed to be calling in for our possible employers, one time I just went online and found an advert where I could just talk to anybody if they had a job or they had an internship. So I called in and I found somebody who was advertising, a director advertising for a job, but that job was gone. But then I presented myself, and the next thing he said, I don't have a job, but I would like to talk to you if you can come through. Then I said, okay, yeah, I would be interested in internship or a job if you have. Fast forward, I was given an internship for 6 months. I was hoping they would give me for 3 months. So that was in now August of 2019. And I started working. So, no, that was in June 2019. 2019, I started my internship. So that's how come I started working for the Norwegian Health Directorate. And I worked for free for 6 months. From there, they gave me a contract of 4 months. And 4 months, I worked for 2.5 years almost with contractual jobs. Eventually, they gave me a full time job. And that is where I'm still. So I rose from
You
being an advisor. Yeah,
you are educated, got
right.
good education, and you live in Norway, but you are saying quality jobs are difficult. What do you mean? I thought when you live in Norway, people will literally just beg you for a job. Is it because you are a foreign national? Is it because you are an African? Tell us the dynamics. What do you mean jobs are hard to get by?
Ye- Yeah, like I mentioned, so the years before I got my job, I had been applying for jobs. I will tell you that in 2017, I had sent up to 397 applications, job applications. I was never called for an interview. In 2018, I sent about 78. I was called for 2 interviews, but I was told that I was too qualified and I needed some experience. And in the year that I got that internship, I had sent about 36. And then I was almost giving up. So, what is the problem is both the language, but then I think the job market as well. I was looking for a job mostly in government institutions, and it is not very easy when you can't have fluent in Norwegian to get a job. But then also, you would be interested to know. I remember I mentioned this thing to my boss that I, at one time, I had been the one job that I was called for an interview. I didn't have my portrait on it. I had to take off my picture on LinkedIn for some time after that episode because they had called me for an interview. And then when I got there in person, everything had changed. And I
Or
realized
when they
it
looked
was,
at your name, Charlotte
yes,
Ness, they thought
yes, yes,
you were from Norway. But when you turned
right,
up, you were an African.
right.
Yeah.
So since then, I had to get rid of my portrait on LinkedIn and just applied for jobs.
So that
And
you're not
yeah,
prejudiced.
right. So, but even then, it was difficult. I never got any job. So the job that I have today, it was a job that I started as a trainee for 6 months. I worked for free for 6 months, 100%. So yes, it is very difficult. There are a lot of jobs out there, and this we have actually tried it with my husband. There are times when we have, at the same time, sent application letters, and immediately he would get a job offer, or not job offer, but a job interview immediately. But for me, it has taken some time. So it has required me to work extra hard to focus on my work. That this job has
So
not come.
currently, what are you doing?
I'm working for the Norwegian Health Directorate. I'm a policy advisor. So I'm a grant manager, actually. That's a job that I do. So I'm responsible for some grants, so that we work hand in hand with the Ministry of Health, and we are policymakers as the Health Directorate. We carry out jobs for the ministry. So we work very directly with municipalities. So my job is to
How
issue.
have you settled in Norway? Have you made it home?
Yes, yes, yes. Norway is home. I'm good. I'm very happy. I have a very lovely job. I have a very lovely family, supportive husband, and yes, I've settled in very well. I'm well connected. I have a very large network. I have been a politician since 2015, and I also was elected as a councillor in 2019. So I have very good fitting that I feel at home.
Oh, wonderful. Let's transition. Your interest in Zambia. I noticed that you run a foundation or you have been having some activities. Tell us that transition into the country.
So, like I have mentioned, living in Norway has given me an opportunity to ask questions. And even that long waiting to get my job has also given me a lot of questions and answers. So, one thing that I have been motivated with is that Norway and Zambia share one thing in common, maybe others, but one thing that I have focused on is the economic part. Norway was not as wealthy as it is today. 60 years ago, Norway was not, boasting of the wealth that they have today, but something had happened. They took off. Whereas in Zambia, so Norway has got oil and Zambia has got its natural resources, the minerals. But we have taken off, but we are going in very, very carefully. So I have taken interest to understand. I don't speculate. This is something that I have lived with. That how has Norway done it? I don't believe that Norway has got the smarter people than Zambia has. It is the mindset and it is in the culture that Norway has managed to be what it is today and where it is today and where it is heading. And so, by understanding that and living the life, I was forced to say, what do I carry home with me?
Yeah,
What can I
Charlotte,
take with me?
like many people talk about Singapore, Norway is that clear example. It has a
Right.
small population, like you say, and
Yes.
they only set up their sovereign wealth fund just in 1990.
Right.
The sovereign fund of such a small country, from proceeds from oil,
Right.
has become the largest sovereign wealth fund in the world, topping $2 trillion in savings. And it is remarkable that they've grown that money just in the short period between 1990 and now. And I'm told you still pay higher taxes despite this huge wealth they've accumulated. They still don't, they just speak about that if you're aware about it.
Yes, yes, yes. I am aware about it. And what is so interesting, I had, by the way, they have a museum actually where one can. So if you happen to come to Norway, Mwamba, I'll be delighted to, we fly to a place called, it's a city called Stavanger, that is their oil city. And they have this museum where you can learn when they started mining and how the deal was done, and how they transitioned to be where they are today. And the mapping has been done as well in the same museum, so you get to see where they have mined and dried up their oil and what is yet to come, what is left out. So everything has been displayed. At the same time, they even have this sacred room that is quite inspiring and quite moving when you move into this room. So they have the people who are working manning the museum. I got privileged that I had with me a guide who was economist. So the people who are working there are well trained and very good qualification that they are able to talk about everything they explain to you. And I told them the purpose of my trip there. So I was privileged to learn quite a lot. But this room, it's a room that will show you how much oil is costing at that moment you're there, and they show you, there's a display of how much, what you just mentioned, how much money is in the account for the oil fund. And it was there calculating live, so it's there live, you can see how much the oil is costing and how much is there. This was quite moving, and you ask yourself to say, why can't we do this? How did they manage to do this? And then at the same time, they also have another space that is showing you emissions, because Norway is quite serious when it comes to, green energy and just how to serve the world. So that also has been displayed. But then when it comes to how they uh, they have been very focused on building. Norway is so focused on the future. They talk about generation wealth. The same fund, they are only allowed by the Ministry of Finance only to use up to 3% each year. Up to 3% they can only use each year. So they are not able to just go and save, they can send them more. No, 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 no. They are talking about future generations. So it's very important that everything is about the future, the future, the future, because they know that, tomorrow they might not have the oil. So this has been very important for them. But even just where they have invested, you see that their interest is also how they do their businesses. It's quite transparent. So they are independent. The government does not, there's somebody, I remember, I'll tell you a story of the one who is the CEO there, whether they call him the CEO, Nikolai Tangen. He was a businessman himself, very, very wealthy man. But when he got that job, he needed to, because his part of his business is quite similar to what the job he is doing now as the CEO. So he needed to have nothing to do with that business. He had to completely cut ties with that business, his own private business, because he needed to have no interest when he's working. That is transparency for Norway. And that is one of the major, major reasons that they have been able to be successful in the pension, the sovereign fund in Norway. That is something we can admire. And then the transparency as well. There's no coercion by the government. There's nothing like they can interfere. Nobody can. These are independent. There's a story going on now with the owner of Tesla. Norway has purchased a lot of Tesla cars. And when it was, thought somebody could coerce, the pensions fund said, no, we can't do this. We cannot be coerced into, we are an open book. And that is something that we can admire about Norway. So when it comes to the pensions fund, today the population of Norway can be given up to 450,000 Norwegian kroner. The fund will still have some money. So they have done incredible, but they are investing around the world. There are many, many places that they have invested. Not too long ago, we saw that they had to discontinue doing business with Israel because they didn't agree with what was happening between Israel and Palestine. So Norway can be quite serious when it comes to business, but overall, they respect human rights. They respect, transparency is one of their strengths.
Okay. Now take us to Zambia and your interest in Zambia, your
Yes.
your governance work, your charity work in Zambia.
Yes. So, with all that understanding, I also felt, why not Zambia? What do I take home with me? You cannot transport what is happening here and take it with you to Zambia, but you could take something. And for me, it was the mindset change. I realized that for us to be able to actualize for Zambia, for me, I felt Zambia must be one of those, you know, enough of the developing countries. Zambia has got potential. Zambia must be able to maximize its potential. And how can we do it? I felt mindset change is the goal. So we started Muzenga Lives Foundation. And by the way, Muzenga is my late grandfather's name, my mom's father. He was called Jason Muzenga Piri. It means building. So that is how come I couldn't find of a better name than Muzenga itself. And off I went. We took up and we went to Zambia. And this is what we have been doing. So Muzenga Lives Foundation is all about advocating for mindset change, but then we are also looking at how can we build that generation. It's very difficult to change somebody who is already grown, but with Muzenga, we are focusing on younger children. How can we channel the mind to start thinking in a growth state, but then thinking that we can be independent? How can we be independent? It's by planting it. I see how Norway has invested heavily in child development. I see how a Norwegian child, we live with a 10-year-old child here, and I hear what they talk about. And I see myself to say, if we could do this in Zambia, we would be able to produce children that are getting into youths that are, they know how to do it themselves. Yes, mommy and daddy guardians will be there, but then what do you do yourself? What can you do? You've got opportunities. If the opportunities are there, do you go as a graduate? Do you wait to be employed? Are you able? You are using the internet every day. What can you do with the internet? Instead of you just going on Facebook and chatting and all this, what can you do with your life? There's a lot that is happening. So we thought going with the mindset change would infuse something in our future generation. So we have focused on sport, we have focused on advocacy, we have focused on ECT. So these are the places that we have been working, and for us, it's been a blessing that I get to reconnect with my people, but then you also get this fulfillment because you get to interact with the people themselves, and then we talk, and then we see the growth as well. So that is how we have been working with the Muzenga Lives Foundation. So we are working around the country, different places. We have focused on orphanages mostly because it has been much easier for us if we're going to focus on orphanages because they are in one place and we can easily, work with them.
Oh, wonderful. What is the state of the country? How do you find Zambia? Where are we?
Yeah. There's hope. There's hope. I sigh because there are times that I'm sad that we've become foreigner. We've become foreign towards one another. We've become impatient with one another. We are not working as a team. I'm concerned that we tend to forget, for those of us that know what growth is all about, when we're talking about, we've got targets. 2030 is approaching. How do we become a middle income country with what is happening at the moment? I would say disunity is a very big concern. As politicians, what we read, what we see is not giving us so much hope. Our former president died. He's not been buried. It's over 5 months. And this is a country yearning for breakthrough. It's very sad. We can do better. We can do better. Who do we consult? Who do we look up to? In a place, in a time when so much is going on, when we can't trust the church, when we have been unfortunate, we have lost all the presidents that have served Zambia are gone. We've been lucky that we still have we're still surviving former vice presidents. But I still feel there's a vacuum. Where do we run to? Because why am I talking about unity? I'm talking about unity because I'm looking in the future. What hope does the future have when we can't even talk to one another? Growth happens where there's peace. And if we don't have peace and unity, how does growth find us? There's a lot of broken pieces that would require, we don't need to be best of friends, but as a country, we can show love. I live in a country that shows love. Sometimes it's frightening. I'll give you an example, Mwamba. In May, Norway celebrates its Constitution Day in May 17th. And that time, I was introduced to a group that had been visiting. Their PhD students from UNZA who had come here visiting. And they happened to be in Oslo during that time. And I spoke with this lady night before the big day. So Norway's Constitutional Day, anywhere in the world, Mwamba, even where you are, on that day, it's happening. It's party everywhere for 17th of May. And I encouraged the lady, I said, I'm sure you've been told to say you have to go to the palace because the march past passes through the palace and the king has to wave. So there's a magnitude of people on the 17th of May in Oslo. And the lady told me, confirmed that yes, they were going there. I called her the next day after the celebration, and she told me, she says, oh, wow, I feel open. I feel void, she said, Charlotte. I feel empty. I feel the admiration. I asked myself, why can't we do it? I told her, I said, I share the same views. There are many times Norwegians have reduced me to tears because of the way they unite, the way they speak. They talk like they are from one mother. The love can be intense on that day. And yet, in Zambia, we can't do that. I ask myself, what has gone wrong? Not too long ago, Baodinga Badifwa in Kenya, we saw how people came together. And I'm asking myself, here we are, Balungu Badifwa. Why are we failing? And this man was not an ordinary man. Why can't we bury him? Why can't we move forward? Christmas is coming. What are we going to talk about? We had independence. Why can't we be compelled by such functions that now we just have to put our foot down and it is what it is? Let us bury the remains of ECL. He played a part. He played a role in this country. So yes, there's a lot to talk about when we look at the economy, where it is today. We have been reading that there's a projection that our GDP will be at 6%. That increase, Mwamba, it is positive. Yes, it is stability, showing that something is happening. But my question is, I was in Zambia last month. How many ordinary Zambians on the street being explained to what the GDP is all about would respond to say, our in a 6% in Deyum? I don't think there'll be many that would say that. Why? Why is it that majority would know? Why am I saying what I'm saying? I'm a light takudi. Baby kidapari 3 hours. We are talking of being a middle income country in 5 years' time. How are we honestly going to manage that? We depend on the mining. Mining requires energy. We must be able to have more people generating money than just consumers for us to make that a reality. And I'm asking myself, how are we possibly going to do this when people cannot even function? We have majority Zambians in the informal sector. They are doing their businesses. If they are not able to do their business, to carry out their businesses, how then are we going to say that 60% is something that they can, talk about? They can't quantify it. They can't feel it. Let's talk about livelihoods. I'm a light takuri. As a Zambian, I know ourselves. In Dalama, ni one time nga bafola ba civil servant, we see it on social media. Na bafola zangen and Dalama. What happens? People rush to use their monies. They purchase, they are proud, they have worked, they've been paid. Now, here's a question. We want to use our money as Zambians. If we want to spend the money. Now we have been subjected to be purchasing inkoko on a daily basis. Abantu balakwanisha shani because tetubasungema fridge. Majority Zambians cannot afford solar. One can argue to say, yes, tibashtama solar, but solar naena taichipide. Let us not lie to ourselves. Awengi nganyawa kwati tualanda kuna civil servants. It is also another sorry side when we look at the lowest paid. The wages for civil servants is something that we should be advocating for. Babalundire kwendalama abantu. Nomba balabe nabale for endala machine on. We subject them to be feeding or buying groceries on a daily basis. What are we doing to our economy, to our people? How do we even translate that into something that is going to produce something solid for the country and move this country from a low-income country to a middle-income country? This is a dream, and we better come out of this dream. Because if we really want it to come to fruition, to reality, I think there are certain things that we must have. And one of those things is energy, which needed to be restored like yesterday. Energy must be restored like yesterday. How they do it, it has nothing to do with an ordinary Zambians. Fix it, you've got technocrats. Do not use politicians to fix the energy problem. Fix it by using the expert. We must use experts if we have to get anything. They will project, they will advise, and they will ask us to do it. That is what we must do. We have Parliament to guide us as well. If it's anything that must go through Parliament, let us respect Parliament. Let them do it. Let them guide us on how we must do it. But energy must be restored in Zambia.
Yeah, Charlotte, have you been following things like the current constitutional making process? Have you been following the voter registration exercise?
Yes.
What are your views about these major events that are happening before elections?
Why now? I would say this, Mwamba. The Constitution Amendment, there are certain things that I would like to be included. I would like powers, amakayamu yapwe kopanon kuli the top leadership. Amakayamo yapwako kuli top leadership, whereby there must be a ratification to say this must go through Parliament. Who has power over this? Let it be ratified by Parliament. That must be included. One of the areas I would talk about that would need ratification, maybe those strong boards like the SCC. Who is the director there? Right? Who is the director? Who appoints? Auditor General, who appoints? Oh, sorry. Auditor General, who appoints? Those key positions, Chief Justice. Let's take, for instance, limbi kuda kuine court ba Supreme Constitutional Court and the High Court. From those, let them now choose, select, and take it to the president to say, President, Salenba Chief Justice. How is that? So why am I saying this? There will be, when we are independent, when we have independent bodies that may be also ratified by Parliament, we will not be ending up with a request to amend Constitution when we have 5 days to an election. Whether the arguments in the bill for amending the Constitution are viable or not, the timing is just not right. The government will be accused of so many things. And the most important one, they are trying to amend the Constitution to serve their interests because there's an election coming up. That is the argument that majority people will use, especially when we look at the timing. I would suggest that the bill drops, it's left. Mr. President, it's not too late. And let the people. So when you ask me, Mwamba, about the Constitution, I'm looking at the voter registration. The voter registration, we saw the ECZ, they had a press briefing where they also announced that they had registered up to 1.2 million. They had a ceiling of 3.5. There's just a day or so, isn't it tomorrow or so, that will be the deadline. I'm asking myself, if they had up to 1.2 a week before the deadline, that should not make them too happy. The question we should be asking ourselves, why are citizens not interested in registering? Have we gone out with adequate information at the right time? Have we reached out to the people to tell them that there's this exercise coming up? Kindly go out there. This is where to find. Are we hearing megaphones around our areas to say, register, sensitize people? Because I'm asking myself, out of 3.5 target, we are at 1.2. Why? And are they going to extend? Ideally hope so. Because if they are not, why? The Constitution. So what we are seeing here is the information is lacking, or we are not talking to the people. If we are representing it's for the people, then let us talk to the people before. If we are doing something for the people, let us inform the people beforehand so that people are on board, because otherwise they will accuse us of being selfish. And this is how it's appearing when people cannot turn out. I mean, an election is very important, Mwamba. What will happen with that difference if they don't even reach the threshold? What will happen then? Those should be our concerns. These are Zambians. This election is for Zambians. Now, if I'm a Zambian to participate, then who are you doing it for?
Yeah. Okay, dear viewers, we are hosting a governance expert, a Zambian national based in Norway, Charlotte Nes Salivage. Salivage, where does the name come from, Salivage?
From Chavuma. Zambezi.
From Chavuma, wonderful. So we are hosting Charlotte Salivage Nice, and she's coming as a governance expert. She just told us her life in Norway and and her work in Zambia. Make your call. We are discussing the state of our country, the state of the nation, and you can make your contributions. The lines are open.
we will have at least 3 hours of stable power supply daily for retail customers. You can even clap for me even if you are annoyed. At least this is a direction.
Ifwe nga fwe beekala kyalo tukaana efyo okutyatatula ekifo kya amendment leke after my elections nakiranda okutiira ati ife ali mu constitution ye government ireteeka ali mu opposition so immediately 2021 ero balina okukita constitution amendment ng'ekyali kya number 1 pantu napa kushita oppose ubuteeko n'ekyo balimu n'efirubo ifyo obuteeko bwa mulini omuntu okoba tiyo tuyakuma elections ero besobola ndi okutya tiyo constitution amendment kwena inenga parliament fe kulubali lwandi inende ekikaana katuishi mwebekala kyalo mwebene pantu inendeera nda pamutima wandi but kabiri inendeera ndokutira ati ine pamukumo wi ndi mfumu y'abantu pamukumo.
Why is there no load shedding in Saudi Arabia and there's load shedding here where there's rain, where there's water? There's no rain, there's no water there. Brain power, thinking, vision, ichimonwa. Munenu ali mweba takwate chimonwa. Mamu fiantamo, mamu bika. So today you are complaining. There is no issue of climate change. It's a leadership, it's the vision that is lacking. Because the sun is shining more when there's no rain. Do you know the opposite of rain? The opposite of rain is heat, is sun. So when it rains, you can produce, under UPN you produce power by enhancing hydro, electricity generation. When there's no rain, lesser rain, it's hot, it's sunny, we generate power from solar power stations. That's the difference.
That's the 50 megawatts that you spoke about.
Yeah, but 50 in each province gives you 500 megawatts. But if you put 100 megawatts in each province, it gives you 1,000 megawatts. And you start exporting to ESCOM, and any dollars to improve your statutory, not to statutory, for your reserves, you improve the kwacha will appear.
The voter registration is a matter of worry, Charlotte. Like you were saying, there is no voter awareness to our people. And then there seems to be glitches and difficulties that seems to be self-induced by the Electoral Commission of Zambia. Have you heard any complaints about the state of the Electoral Commission of Zambia? Do you think in its current state, the ECZ can take us to a free and fair election?
There are the thing to start with, Mwamba, you see, what causes lack of trust in governments? I'll give you an example of COVID. During COVID, there was a lot of theories, No, wafuna kutipaya, all this. There's a lot that came through. And some, they said it was difficult because majority people did not trust their governments. So there are a lot of citizens that were shunning away from taking the vaccines, right? And then there were those that had, up to 80%. Citizens were, bringing themselves to say, we want to get vaccinated. Why do we get to have those theories? It's because we create room for those theories to start, coming in. We allow room for, people to mock us, mock governments, just discredit government. Now, in this case, we have seen the director, the top leadership at the ECZ. We have seen her in the past. She has been associated with the ruling government, the political party in government today. That already was a concern by majority people. So before we even question of the credibility of how the institution stands, if its leader was associated, I just gave you an example of the leader of the Sovereign Wealth Fund here in Norway. He had to do away with his own business if he wanted the job. He couldn't be found wanting. Now, here is a situation as credible as we would like the Electoral Commission of Zambia to be, we go and appoint somebody who was once an associate of the party in government today. That already is questionable. Whether she is working there as credible leadership, but that already in itself, it's a problem. How do people relate? How do they associate for her doing just for Zambia? Why would it be wrong for people to think otherwise, that she would favor the party in power today? Because she was once a friend of theirs. And this is on record. So those are some of the issues that we need to avoid if we really want to see Zambia moving forward. Those are small glitches that, would throw us out, would question our integrity, because already there, it's a question of integrity before we even move to the institution itself. And now, when we come to the institution, we'll say, Isabina Adibola, umuntu otethe ushali. Umubiri wesabi na ubola. Umuntu otethe washali. How is it going to be possible that one side it is perfect and then the body? No. We know where it is emanating from. So I think that already says a lot, much as we would want to argue, but there's a question whether this would be credible or not. And it has been timing. We cannot ignore in this day and age, we cannot ignore everything that has been published on social media. There's some truth to it. Sometimes, not sometimes, most times, if you are going to share some information, at least try to ask for authentic. How authentic is this information? But yet, we have been hearing around social media where we have heard in some areas there's been some registration which started a long time ago. In some areas, there hasn't been. Then you ask ourselves, why is it happening this way? Why aren't we doing it for the country? We have an opportunity to move our country forward. Let us unite. If we are going to be in leadership, let us see how best we are going to find credible leadership that will not be segregating us, that will not be making it difficult for Zambia's growth. Because some of these glitches, Mwamba, are not just about the election next year. There's a lot that is at stake. A lot that is at stake. If we talk about the current happenings, the cost of living is high. People are not able to get jobs. Majority of graduates are not able to get jobs. When we talk about empowerment, we get to see that it's not a lot of people. We have seen some empowerment that have gone out, the CDF. How can we measure how CDF is working? So if we are going to be careless with an election like this, it looks dark for our country. It looks dark for our country, and it's quite worrying.
Dear viewers, the broadcast will be brief, so if you have any contributions to make, sorry, the phone was off, but I've just switched it on. Make your contributions. We are hosting my dear sister Charlotte Salivage Ness. She's a governance expert. She's a Zambian national based in Norway, and she participates. She has a charity organization that has been doing some works in Zambia. Are you playing any role in the coming elections, Charlotte? Do you at one time hope to transition maybe from civil society work to politics? Have you identified the constituency? Do you in any way, have you given a thought to that? Or you will remain a governance expert to advise the politicians and policies?
With the happenings, I would say that yes, I have actually considered. I could be running for president, Mwamba. So very soon.
That's a big one. Tell me about it.
No, it isn't a joke. I laughed because yes, it's aspirations, but then aspirations with growth. It's aspirations with growth, and then when you see there's a vacuum, it's that vacuum that you think to say, what can I do to contribute? in my remarks, I have said the reason for
Salva
starting
Jelo
up
Mwamba
Zenga-
Eliash Nomba. So you have interest to run for president. Jelo Mwamba Eliash. What would be your interest? What vacuum have you seen? Where do you think we're going wrong? And why would you like to step up and be among those that the country is looking at as leaders of our country?
Mwamba, it's very heartbreaking. I mean, you are in the States today. There's a reason why you are in the States today. But then you have traveled, you've been exposed, you have lived in different countries, and you've seen how our friends are living. It is very sad to see that Zambia, it is where it is today. It hurts me when I live in one of the most developed countries, and yet I have home that is barely, it's there. I don't believe that Zambia is poor, and Zambia is not poor. We just need to manage it well. We need to manage our resources well. We need to want it more. We must be able, when we talk about inclusion, we must be able to include. And who do we include? We must be able to include Zambians. We can look at
Okay,
how
Charlotte.
we
have our first
Yes?
caller, and hold your thoughts. You join your thoughts later to that. I like the announcement you're making that you've been considering leadership, and as a young, a professional, that is very good. Caller, you are our first caller. Make your contributions. Identify yourself and make your contribution.
Good evening, Mwamba, and good evening, Madam Charlotte. I want just to say thank you very much. You have elaborated. Indeed, we are in problem in Zambia, and we always want to thank you people from the diaspora to speak. Zambia, we are being gagged. As we speak today, we are very few who can even say, Zephaniah is my name, and there are very few people who can say his name. Most of the callers, they always say anonymous, and that's the sign that in Zambia, things are not okay. Now, the question I have to ask is that how can you help, the way now you have seen that ECZ, they have been playing some, where voter registration has ended, and now they are trying to not to bring it back as the voter registration. And how can you advocate that in Zambia, ECZ, like the way they have appointed these well-known cadres who are there, that we are going to have a free and fair election in 2026? Because Zambians today, we are so worried because ECZ is full of UPND cadres. Everyone knows that the UPN cadres are the one running, and they are even saying that they are going to be in power up to 2090. So we are also worried, saying, how are they going to be in 2090 when the president has 2 terms, whether first 5 years or if he's going to manage 2026 up to 2036. So how are they going to change that? President is going to be there for 2020 up to 2090. So this is also worrying. So how are you going to help us, you people from the diaspora? Thank you.
Thank you very much. Charlotte, over to you.
The ECZ, we can only hope, and I really, really dearly hope that they will reconsider. It will be very interesting. One thing, Mwamba, that we must be able to advocate for is transparency. These numbers for the ECZ exercise should have been available on their website to begin with. If we really want to show how credible we are as institutions, one of the issues that we should be able to strengthen as Zambia moving forward and looking into the future is how we take transparency and accountability seriously, especially in a democracy. These numbers shouldn't be waited for until they hold a press conference, a press briefing. These numbers should be found there because they are reporting. We know that there are data collections and all this data. We know there's an exercise ongoing. So there's a data that is being collected and it's being, registered. So why shouldn't it just be the numbers the figures, statistics be made available. Everybody must have access. Nobody should do any alterations. Let it just be transparent there. Where the people are mentioning, it makes me sad when I hear what Zephaniah is saying about that up to 2090. And who are those that are shouting, screaming about 2090? You ask them so, you ask yourself, Mwamba. It comes to mindset change, is not wanting to believe in ourselves. I always say, get unlocked Zambia, or unlock those that you can. When people are unlocked, they would never find themselves shouting to say, HH bakafika until 2090 or UPND 2090. Unless you who is shouting, screaming 2090, you are seeing yourself as the next leader who would move forward. But if you are just shouting, even the president, I don't think he would be there rooting and being happy, you rooting for him to say Paka 2090, because then he would say, oh, wow, what a sorry sight. Having citizens who would be rooting for me, this is 2025, and they are looking at me serving them as until 2090. That shouldn't give you hope as a leader. That shouldn't give you joy as a leader. It should make you sad that you have citizens who don't dream. They are ordinary people. They are happy to be led. No, not in a democracy. Those should not be coming on our lips. That is not a conversation that we must be having. And it's nothing to, mock others, trying to prove yourself, flexing. This is not about flexing. It's about the country. It's about continuity. It's about continuation. We clap for His Excellency Hichilema today. If he's doing fantastic, the people of Zambia, and by the way, don't be intimidated by all those noise. The best and the big teacher and the one that is going to mark the paper that is going to be done next year, it's the Zambian people. So if the Zambian people are very happy, satisfied with the performance of His Excellency HH, then definitely he's getting back. But if the Zambians are not happy, unfortunately, no. But again, it also comes out and tells us to say how credible our institutions. Can we trust them? If the trust is not there, then we have a problem.
You are a policy expert. What policies would you like to promote in our country to shape development? We've already discussed the sovereign wealth fund and how, we have copper here. Have you mirrored those thoughts of probably how we can get a wealth fund created using our copper resources? And since you are in the health sector, where do we get it wrong?
The health sector is another sorry sight, Mwamba. I got really affected during COVID, I'll be honest with you. I remember when I was getting my 4th jab vaccine, I remember majority of my Zambian people had not even gotten the 1st jab. I saw kupunda mzungu anikonde sometimes inshaishibanga mungulunga it's just very sad. We must be able to love ourselves more. We must be able to value
Sorry,
ourselves
Charlotte, I've got
more.
I've got a caller. Charlotte,
Yes.
you come and answer all the details. Let me just... Hello, caller. Please tell us your name and where you are calling us from. Hello, caller, you are on. Please tell us your name and where you are calling us from. Yes?
Oh, this is Professor Miti calling from Lusaka.
Professor
Apparently,
Miti.
I've just joined the program. I'll ask later.
Oh, okay. Okay, thank you. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Continue. Professor wants to hear from you before he can make contributions.
Yes, please. So I was saying, when it comes to the health part, I felt very affected by the picture of it that, we are friends. We are friends of many, many countries. Many countries, we have investors coming, there's interest in Zambia. And yet, Mwamba, it took some time before our people got vaccinated. I'll tell you one thing. We got married in 2021. My mother could not attend the wedding. And the reason is, Mwamba, she had already been vaccinated, but it's because she had AstraZeneca that was from India. And AstraZeneca vaccine from India was not approved by the EU here. And that is the reason why. But Mwamba, who gets to approve what is good health on behalf of other people? Why at that time couldn't Africa produce vaccines? What are we still doing as a country when we are so rich? We have a lot of countries that have got interest in our country, and yet we're poor.
You know, I can tell you the story from the African Union when COVID broke out in January 2020, and it was developing rapidly, and by February they had locked us out. There was no medicine for COVID. It was a pandemic that was highly infectious, and there was no way, for example, to protect some of our health workers. One of the key problems immediately arose was from personal protective equipment, PPEs, that our nurses and doctors and workers in hospitals needed to wear, because among the biggest casualties were health workers. So at the African Union, we began to organize, because no African nation had planned, like any pandemic. No, we didn't plan for this. And then we didn't have requisite material or medicine to deal with this. So lucky enough, we had Jack Ma, the billionaire from China, who visited us and pledged that he was going to donate for Africa protective equipment, face masks for the first time. Some of us were seeing them for the first time. And he did the donation within a period of, I think, 2 weeks. And because I was in the forefront of those advocating, Zambia was listed as among the first 5 out of 55 countries to receive the PPE material, the equipment for for our health workers. Cool. And then he said, because now what was killing people were respiratory infections, and he said now he was going to donate those oxygenators. So Zambia was among the first one, and lucky enough for our country, we didn't close the air spaces. We went as a group of ambassadors, we went to Ethiopian Airlines, because it was the only airline flying. All airlines across the world had closed. And for Zambia, we didn't close, and that is why among the first countries in the world, in Africa, that had those PPEs was Zambia. Because as soon as Jack Ma's equipment came, we received it. For me, we immediately dispatched them to Lusaka just within a period of 2-3 days after freight processes were done. By the time now, towards 4-5 months later, the issues of vaccine had come in. I think we're going towards the end of the year, August, September, and now the entire world was on a shutdown, but there was this fascinating solution of vaccines. We were allocated as Zambia 8 million dosages of vaccines. And like I was a very active ambassador, and I even made a huge announcement from Ethiopia that Zambia was among the few countries that would receive the vaccine. Oh, first of all, Lusaka called that, why did I make the announcement? Do you know why? Because people were home and people were on social media. And on social media, there was a message raging how harmful the vaccines were, how vaccines were killing people than COVID. And the influence of social media, there was this huge repercussion against vaccines. And my country, although we are among the first that I secured the vaccine for, the government needed to take caution and begin to do awareness programs, because you just can't ignore the power of social media. And when they stopped me, I understood clearly we had not done on awareness. And the messages that had only come were that vaccines were bad. And if you notice in Africa, we're among the few, the numbers were the lowest in the world for people that got vaccines. So don't get surprised. I'm coming to your issue where you said, but, you were in your fourth shot when Zambians were getting their first shot. Because first of all, there was this apathy against vaccine. Then there was these conspiracy theories about how it will make people infertile, how they'll lose their lives, how Bill Gates and others were promoting population control. The power of social media, you cannot ignore it. And it had affected the policy, policy implementation of vaccines. So I thought I could just contribute.
No, thank you very much. And we appreciate you, Mwamba. You really have served the country and on other levels. And we hope we get to see you more. And hopefully the 200,000 that you have paid, we haven't forgotten. So we hope to see you getting active. By the way, I have a question. You presented a PF portrait with aspiring. I didn't see any female, Mwamba. So do something about PF. We need more women coming up. So
Wakari Pile, your duty will be to urge the women, the powerful women in the PF to participate. We have Honorable Brenda Nyirenda, who's the current acting SG, who had expressed interest to stand, but she didn't proceed. In fact, we have, as a party, we've made it very easy for our women. We've said their fees will be lower. It will be only 100,000 kwacha because we recognize the challenges our women go through. The men are hustlers. So the men are paying 200,000. The women are paying 100,000. So I'm glad that you are asking the women to participate. Just finish your thoughts.
Yes, no, thank you so much. So one of the issues that I would definitely want to look at, we are looking at progress. How is Zambia moving forward? We want to see Zambia, the takeoff has happened, but we want Zambia to maximize its potential. Therefore, we must start looking at ways of how we can make this a reality. One of the issues that is impeding progress for Zambia at the moment is the debt. That we can't run away from it. But again, it's reliant on the mining. We must be able to diversify where we generate income. The country must be able to generate income. And that is why I insisted that energy needs to be restored. You played a clip where the energy minister is saying at least 3 hours. But what is 3 hours? I'm a phone ya charger in 1 hour, 40 minutes, 2 hours. We are talking of 3 hours of what, honestly? That is not even right that he even went to make that. He should have just asked Bambifi Balandafi. And it's not too long ago, the same minister was on Diamond TV where he was boasting of 15 hours in some area in Lusaka. Then there was a U-turn. This is not just right. So I hope this will just be temporarily and, they should restore the power. The president gave us so much hope that this would be a thing of the past. So I ideally hope that they get to do something. Now, where should
Charlotte,
we be
Charlotte, just hold your breath. Let your callers come in. We have a caller. Please tell us your name and make your contribution.
Thank you, Ambassador Mwamba. This is Sinyangwedani.
Yes, Mr. Sinyangwedani, make your contribution.
Yeah. Thank you very much. First and foremost, Ambassador Mwamba, I want to echo your words. There's something that people don't give credit to the late president and his government. It was during the COVID time. And for me, I really give respect to my ECO, how he conducted the COVID during that time. Credit has never been given to him, but for me, that was proper leadership, and may his soul rest in peace. I've been following by Charlotte, and she said so many things about what we can do and what we're not doing. One thing that touched my attention was we have got resources in Zambia. Zambia is vast, more. We have got so many minerals that we can tap and lean. So my question is by Charlotte, with what Norway is doing, and you being on that side, what would you advise? Because at the end of it, for me, I feel like if people know the formula for us to acclimate, to get wealth, don't we need to start implementing this so that we don't be a country that is always begging? Because we have gold, we got copper. Can we start using the same system that Norway is doing so that we can start creating wealth for our own country? Because you are there and then you have got maybe contact with the own government. Can you be doing that to advise them? Thank you and God bless you, Ambassador Mwamba.
Thank you very much. Hello, caller. You are online. Tell us your name and where you are calling us from.
Good evening, Ambassador Mwamba. Good evening, Charlotte Sullivan. Shinali ndi mkwaine anonymous ndikono kwa Kaputa. Twamisengera bamayo kumfefe twamfokutira twalikwata abantu ababombera mu fyalo mumbi bale kitefya kutita ekyomuletira good governance. Elo ifo kuno ku Zambia tatumuliko nomba muletu mona fe tulekasabana. Bamayo chishi muinga chitapo pali ififimano fyonse mwa palwa na fya kutungulula ifyalo fimbi bwino kufyalo kukumilundu kumbi. Elo kuno kuchalo tule shingwa na moneni ku ECZ. Ichiletele obusanso ku Tanzania ni chinshi kukana akwata good governance. Abama MPs na ma opposition parties balelanda ichi chintu muichita mwebuteko mwebali mu office mwebali mu power. Awe mkwaiba mayoba labambina abeni kafya matu yabo na support yabo abatifwe kano tuye kuma elections with the reforms. Usha suminishia kukumkaka. Nomba moneni voter registration mu Zambia ngani ku Northern Province na abalira sana nalitamba ba chief Mwamba bakasama. Uko bale inongo nyokulanda chita batupele nshikuishingire nshiteikulu. Yet kwetwe mu Lusaka paka nyamapo it has been there since Katushi September, August, July. Balele mbesha kuma Western Province chaya mpaka leta tuishibe no kwishiba bamayo what can be done ineshita pantu muchipingo mwali beshiwiri landaliti nangu tebwingi bwanshiku lesa kuti atuchitire chintu chikulu nangu paka shitaka kulekelesha lesa kuti atuchinjishe chintu since mwemfi bombero yeko muli mwefi bombero nalosha mukutira mweba kweta amano aya enderela mulechita good governance mufyalo mumbi iseni mututungulule tukwete Zambia imbi ya kushila abana nabeshikulu beso ni inefie. God will never mark another Zambia, or God will never raise another colonial kind of thing, scramble for Africa. Baka marking a Zambia yimbiat tukaya kuisa ifunia hapa penefula mayo seni mutu wafo kutungulule chichintu. Chishi chinga chitika to stop this road ya kwebati na tumona ba ECZ chairperson ni ba kade chine okuchira na pali ine na abafe mumbali mumushi bena eba aliko kuntanshi ya ichi chilongani.
Thank you, my dear sister from Kaputa. Hello, caller. Please tell us your name and where you are calling us from.
Good evening, Ambassador.
Munkonge.
Ambassador, question in one day for quick shako. We share change ngo kwebati mcharo mumwesu. Ama need pay aba civil servants ibe sana panshi because ingana chita compare limbira South Africa mwarasa ngati ba civil servant lowest pay maybe after my deductions are kwata na 25,000 na 20,000 nomba mwasa chita compare kuba bumfibe so ama salaries na rumbra ba civil servants chile rumbra ma companies yambi kuchinji chale ngo kwebati ama salaries yesu mucharo chesu fweba kwata ama resources na fimbi fintu fwe bapenda nomba chinji chale ngo kwebati tukwate amalipiro pantu ba civil servants mpia bafora kumwesu chimwe chinene mpia chifora ba security ba company fi yine fe company ya muntu ila kwanisha okuforeshe mpia comparing ne mpia turefora ku Zambia oro imbi question bushe apatulea kuma elections kuri bama yabo abali uko takwaba ko ama NGOs ayafu abantu ngachakwe bati bachitikishwango wino musango turepta mpantu natu kumono ko tulea pamura ndurimbi not human rights at large maybe pama elections takwaba ko ama NGOs ayakwe bati pantu kumwesu kuri uko ashupa ngawati wime fe paro limbi pakwe bati wambi okubika abantu munshiro fa mwinga chita protect charo imbafuire bakuronga nomba takwaba kwa NGOs yambya yakwe bati abantu mu bayingirira pakwe bati bapusuka ngachakwe bati kwari ama NGOs ya ifyo kuti vatwafwako pakwe vati twaingira muri aina ma-NGOs pakwe vati twapusushe charo chesu kariwo ma-political parties kuri uwafya sana so ngakwariwa kwa ma-NGOs independent avaroresha pa vantu kari kwari vefyakwe vati napera example like ngakwavanangwa chisivo kura vava shanyuko vatuma va UN nombanga chakwe vati like crisis iri mumweso takuri koma NGOs yamwe yakwe vati vachita kwa alert pakwe vati vari vantu vafuirishiwa ko kuvombera muri arama NGOs oro imbi question achira kushavama kushenga chakwe vati ulefo ya omulimo wavo caregiver kucharo mwava ma procedures inchufire wakonka nguto wachita shani napona apera mkwai.
Oh, thank you very much. Thank you very much. Charlotte, you can tackle some of those questions.
Thank you very much. I will start with the caregiver jobs. So Norway is, like I have mentioned, Norway is a very transparent country. Any job, be it caregiving or teaching maybe would even be problematic, but healthcare jobs, you must be able to have a work permit. So the first things that they would look at is each paper chakubomberapo akuisa kuno pakuti bampere permit yakuisa mukwikala kuno mufuire mwakwata permit yaku nabampera offer so mwachita apply and then mwaisa mukubomba. But as a caregiver I think tiyaisa shupa sana omulandu wakwe bati fo kuno ekitundu kino wija ntakwaba ekisungu. And then ama places ayengi ya government so mukasanga ati nangu ama homes ayengi ama nursing homes ya government ama private tefingi sana kuno kwatufire mungasanga kwa America nangu ku England kuno ifingi fyonse fyaba fya government. So meaning that ukuisa musange enchito mufuire mwaba mu system iya kuikale yakufisama kuno tayibomba. So mufuire mwachita apply mwaya bampera permit and then you come here. But of course mufuire mwasambidire ekitundu so liminga mwamusanga ati okay kuli nchitosho muleka biro kwisa bomba kuno nimbi mwatampa kwali bano Wijan School center oyo mwinga sambidira ko mwamba okusambidira ekitundu then at least jamule chita apply ni ekitundu na mwishi bakali so ofo yabako but yali bako controlled sana fya. And then the other thing I would respond mwachidanda padi ama observers ama elections I would tell you that it's the same by EU not independent NGOs. Zambia will always be observed by the EU and the AU that have always been doing it. So what is important is that if they discredit, Norway can give a position, just like they did if Viachitike to Tanzania. They had to give a position. I saw that Canada, United Kingdom, and Norway, they raised a concern that something needs to be done. Correct measures needs to be done before maybe the inauguration. There was a statement that was passed on the 30th of October where they saw, because this was coming in the media, seeing what was happening, that there were people being hurt, people died. So there was a concern. So they can do a concern as well. And the UN, of course, will have to come in with an investigation. So, yeah. Other than that, Mwamba, you were asking me about what is it that I would be looking at. For me personally, he also touched on a civil servant. For me, what is important is that we need to look at the future of Zambia and how we want the profile of Zambia to look like. We have been affected by corruption, and especially the new Dawn government. From the onset, our president has talked about zero tolerance of corruption. He was going to fight corruption. He has shown much more interest than the previous governments. He has been there talking about, corruption free. Now, one would be concerned, how can we be finding corruption in our country that is so poor? We have low wages for civil servants. It is very unfortunate that things like that should be happening. Not too long ago, in the health sector as well, we found 61 containers, drugs that had expired. Why? People have died. Why? If I was given an opportunity by Mwamba, the first things that we'll be looking at, I saw that they have, implemented digitalization. We need to go digital. Digital will prevent us from being corrupt. We must be able to remove this human touch when it comes to transactions. I think we need to go digital. That way, Zambia maybe will start breathing. And most importantly, we must be transparent, especially when it comes to public procurement. Public procurement must be put on their website. When we show that, already that shows, confidence. The citizens will have confidence in every government. This has nothing to do with the current or the previous, most importantly of those that are yet to come. Bamayo, bachilanda for something about Kaputa. She appealed. She appealed as a mother, and I feel her. Mayoni myumfa kwa Kaputa. One thing that I would like to emphasize, but Mamba change question, is today in my elections. Mayonga mwarode shama candidates over today kwata. Whichever the candidates, are they helping Zambia? That is what we should be asking ourselves as Zambians. But the candidates over today, Mona, are they there to push Zambia forward, or are they stagnating Zambia? Because the president mwebantu basala ama ministers bali badabe nama MPs over today sala. So idi today amukusala abantu, today amukusala intungulushi, tufuile tu alode kishapo. Ni intungulushi shamsango shani today sala. Do they have the interest of the people, or do they have the interest for themselves to get themselves a job? This is where it's important as Zambia that we must play a role. Remember how it was in 2021. 2021, Zambians were fed up with the Patriotic Front. They made a decision. But I'm asking ourselves, did we make that decision because we were fed up of the Patriotic Front and forgetting what was yet to come? Quite all right. We spoke. Zambians spoke to say, enough of the Patriotic Front, we try somebody else. And the ones that looked available and were ready was the UPND. But what criteria did we put in place to elect, to choose those leaders that we are putting in place? Because even as we start expecting good results for the country, we must be able to say, who are these that are going to be implementing these policies on behalf of Zambia? That is very important. We must be honest with ourselves. Let us not just look bad at the leadership. Let us take responsibility as Zambians. How prepared are we to go to an election? Do I even know who I am going to be electing? Who is going to be talking on our behalf? How much do they understand the problems that we have in our community? This is very important for Zambia to move forward. For us to be able to see everything that is going wrong and to start suggesting how we can do better as a country, those leadership must come together. It's not one person among 20 that should be talking. It has to be interactive. We must be a Zambia that is interactive. How involved are traditional leaders? Let us look at rural development. How important we talk about diversification. Diversifying where? This is outside Lusaka, right? Now, who is involved? How is the road network? What sort of people are living in those areas? Are they able to perform? Are they ready to function, to produce something? What is that we want to produce? These are some of the questions that we must start asking ourselves as Zambia. When we are ready to start working for this country, we must be able to ask ourselves, are we ready to push this country? How are we helping leadership as a citizen, myself? What am I doing? What Zambia do I envision for myself? What am I doing about it? This is very important, Mwamba, that we start now asking ourselves these critical questions, especially as we start now looking. Look at the Patriotic Front. Leaders, look at the other oppositions. What is it telling us when you see a lot of aspiring presidents? they are saying there's a possibility that they could actually be leading the country. But what interest are the candidates having? How prepared are they? Are you, as a citizen, ready to ask them critical questions? Critical questions where you ask to say, what are you coming to do? It is not enough to say, "Nkaleta amalite," because muri ba UPN tamuri amalite. The question is, how are you going to do it? Let us take our leaders to task. But above all, let us ensure that such leadership is inclusive, is uniting, and this leadership is showing that we are ready. We are ready to put up a framework that will be transparent, that will be accountable to the people. But most importantly, the duties as well. The duties that will be able to function independently so that we are able to produce iyi tenganda iyo tensaka iyakwe bati umuntu fyonse eule sonta inebonka tungulula. No. We need a Zambia that has got utuma offices utu pusana. Those key positions, let us try to rethink. Mwamba, the question of the constitution, I would say clearly, yes, we must be considering to amend the constitution, but we must give it good time. Good time for consultations, good times to see the players, the stakeholders involved have been consulted, and let us look at what is working and what is not. Somebody asked to say, living here, what examples, what can we get or learn or talk on behalf of Zambia to do? Zambia will never be developed by others. We must want it ourselves. We must do it for the country. We must get unlocked. We must discover our value. We must know that we can value in our own country. We must be able, and once we know, we will be able to protect what we value the most. We cannot be spectators. We can't just be listening. If we want to see Zambia move forward, we must be players. We cannot be ordinary Zambians. No, it's not going to happen. And
thank you very much, Charlotte. Thank you very much. We'll be closing the program. Today we're hosting Charlotte Salivage Ness from Norway. She's a Zambian national based in Norway. She's a governance expert. She's been doing a lot of work in Zambia under charity organization. Here on the program, she just announced that she actually has been considering running for office, not just as an MP, maybe even for the top job. And I think she's welcome. We're going to profile her properly because we had brought her here as a governance expert. And I asked her a question. Are you considering transitioning from your current role as a governance expert, policy expert? Do you wish to participate in partisan politics? Our answer was yes. So, we will bring her as she begins to consult, reaches out back home, and when she's put her system together, we will then invite her to come and speak as a presidential candidate. We've done that to many who just come. I remember Honorable Sebastian Copeland and John Sangwa, they came in their previous roles, and when they finally made a decision, we brought them on to profile themselves as presidential candidate. So when Charlotte Ness is done with her consultation, she will come as a presidential candidate. Charlotte, I'm going to invite you to make your last remarks.
Thank you very much, Mwamba. I will say unity Zambia. Let us bury our late President ECL. Let us find as Zambia, let us find our strength. Our strength lies in our differences. We must unite with how different we are. We are special. There's no single ethnic group that is special than the other. We need one another. We are one great 10 provinces. and that is where our strength lies. So I hope, and for Zambians, especially the young, the youths, we must be able to find our purpose in life, and let us choose not to be ordinary people. And the mothers out there, it's going to be all right. Let us keep pushing like Bamaeva kwa Kaputa. We see you, we hear you. Let us keep on pushing. And in what we do, let us not forget the boy child who we are now referring to as junkies. It is not a good name. It is not by choice. There are so many reasons that have driven. Let us be a Zambia that is watching out. Every falling out of a Zambian affects and makes statistics. So we are not happy when it's a high number of youth unemployment. We are not happy when we are recording a lot of mental health. We are not happy and not doing well as a country when we have a number of people that are on the street that we are now calling as junkies. So let us watch out and let us find our purpose as Zambia. We are a beautiful country and many admire us. So let us see how strong we can be again. We've done it before. We've been one happy family, and I believe that Zambia has got the potential. So let us focus on maximizing our potential. In our own little ways, let us be able to contribute, but let us be big dreamers. I see a Zambia of young millionaires, and it's going to happen very soon. Thank you so much, Mwamba.
Thank you very much. We're hosting Charlotte Ness from Norway, and thank you for gracing your debut on this program, and we'll be waiting for you. The week is power packed. Thank you, Nice, and thank you for coming to this program. You can watch it on YouTube, on TikTok, and on LinkedIn. We are broadcasting on all those channels, and on my Facebook page and on other pages. We have a power packed set of programs this coming week. We are hosting John Sangwa and Dolika. They'll give us a date. We have Makebi Zulu on Monday. We have Brian Munduwile coming on I think on Tuesday or Thursday. Then we have Honorable Harry Kalaba on Wednesday. The entire week is power packed. Look forward to EMV next week. Today, we're hosting Charlotte Salivage Ness, and she's given us her thoughts across the country and shared her experience from Norway and the skills she wishes to bring to our country. God bless you, and God bless our country.
Abantu abengi balayita konde mu bubemba nga tule bakwisa pali bukitimu balayita konde nomba icyo bakipangire kya there must be quarter line imwe about there must be conflict to determine the best leader. If you buy bubemba yomura bantu bufumu bwesu ingabale chitastadi ne
kwenyu ndemwe chabe mabanja onanjala mkomo ndalama zonse mutumbalano masukwa kuchuluka pa mutupatu. Time is up kwenyu not enough. Time is up for your lies and bluff. Time is up kwenyu not enough. Time is up for your lies zanu ndizopanda pindu. Anakulira miseu mwatu tikufuna chilengedwe cha tsopano. Osati mapocket anu opindika ndalama. Listen to the cries, they're louder than your lies. You can't silence the truth. It's time for the youth. Time is up, time is up. When is not enough. Time is up for your lies and bluff. Time is up, time is up. When you're not enough. Time is up for your lies and bluff. We rise, we stand, we fight together for the children, for a better forever. When you kunata pano, we take the rain. Tikonza jiko.